It's the ultimate control freak's power trip.
It is. I always liken it to a farmer breaking the legs on his cow and then kicking the cow because it can't get up. Because that's what they've done to society. They've crippled the reasoning abilities of the general public, and they blame society for it happening.
Very, very sick people. But that's a replay of feudalism. I've read 500, 600-year-old communiques between French and British royalty who were cousins, and we've got to have a new war. Our people are getting uppity. Oh, well, you need to keep them down this way. You need to rape their women so they don't have any family lines because that psychologically breaks them. You need to keep them at starvation level to control them. And that's what feudalism was, not allowing to hunt, not allowing to have firewood, having to give most of what they produced to the elites. The elites would be a foot and a half taller. They called the slaves the little people, and they enjoyed the fact that they were starving and had snot running down their faces as they rode by in their finery. And in Japan, they have the same system. This is what slave masters do. They hate us doing well. They hate us being beautiful. They hate our ideas. They hate the fact that it's the hybrid individual system that is actually more dynamic than them and that rises from the general mass.
This year, many of us will have to make the tough decision on what to cut back on and what's essential as we prepare for an uncertain future. In these troubled times, one of the most important things your family can have is good health. Some of the contributors to poor health are parasites, viruses, toxins, and heavy metals. It's a documented fact. 80% of all Americans and 85% of people around the world suffer from internal parasites and parasitic infection. Now, you can fight internal parasites, heavy metals, and high cholesterol naturally and safely by mixing fossilized phytoplankton powder, also known as FPP, with your favorite beverage once a day. FPP is now available to you from freshwaterorganics.com. A 2-month supply starts at just $17. FPP is so affordable you can't afford to do without. Visit freshwaterorganics.com or call them toll free at 888-949-3570. That's 888-949-3570.
Now, from the makers of Loose Change, the most downloaded film in internet history, comes the long-awaited release of Loose Change Final Cut, an entirely new 2-hour film that completely destroys the official fable forever. Loose Change Final Cut hopes to be a catalyst for a new independent investigation in which family members receive answers to their questions and the true perpetrators of this horrendous crime are brought to justice. Loose Change Final Cut is the ultimate 9/11 expose. From hijackers being trained at U.S. military bases to bombs in the buildings, Loose Change Final Cut is the one 9/11 film everyone must see. Secure your copy of Loose Change Final Cut today at Infowars.com or PrisonPlanet.com. While you're visiting the online video store, be sure to check out the huge discounts on films like Endgame, Blueprint for Global Enslavement, America, Freedom to Fascism, and hundreds of other titles. We're in a no-holds-barred information war. Truth is our weapon, and PrisonPlanet.com has the tools you need to take the fight back to Big Brother.
Ted Anderson from Midas, February 19, 2009. Gold opened at $981.40. 1-ounce gold coins can be purchased for $1,919, $504.59 for half, $252.30 for quarter. That's $1,919, $504.59, and $252.30. We all want liberty. Some give their lives for it, a price that cannot be taken for granted. We forfeit bites and pieces of our freedom for what? February 28th, Minnesota Campaign for Liberty will host Tom Woods, best-selling author of The Meltdown, Professor Butler, author of Trade on the Great Depression, and Bill Butler to cover monetary policy. This workshop will empower you to be effective at meetings and conversations. With advanced discounts, the cost is $20, a small price for liberty. Go to MNC4L.com. That's MNC4L.com. Become a part of the solution. Go to MNC4L.com.
Do you have trouble sleeping due to sensations in your legs? You are not alone. Millions of Americans suffer from restless legs. Restless legs is a condition caused by the uncontrollable urge to move your legs. Signs include itching, pulling, tugging, and the feeling that bugs are crawling on your legs. If having restless legs is preventing you from getting the good night's sleep you deserve or is preventing you from enjoying life, you need Restulex. Restulex is an all-natural supplement that contains 74 essential vitamins, minerals, and herbs that you may not be getting in your diet. it. Restulex will help ease and comfort your restless legs within 24 hours and will allow you to go back to your regular routine without discomfort or embarrassment.
Call 888-4FIT-LEGS. That's 888-434-8534. Or visit 4fitlegs.com. That's the number 4fitlegs.com. And ask how you can get Restulex for free today.
He's the T-Rex of political talk. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
Alan, I'd like you to specifically get into who Barack Obama is, the betrayals we've already witnessed, and how he was perfectly packaged, from your own perspective. Because, they build up all this hatred of Bush, who certainly deserved it, but he's still just a front for the globalists. All of our energies are put into, him instead of what the elites are actually doing behind the scenes. So they use him as a shield. Then all that hatred of Bush is transferred into love of Obama as they advertise him as president of the world. And then out of the gates, he's betraying everything he said he'd do, but his zombie-like followers, who aren't even bad people, they're just, so committed and signed on to him that they're now making excuses for all of the betrayals. Can you speak to Barack Obama?
Yeah, it's just the old puppets. It's a new puppet and a new puppet show for the public. Because the last puppet show was becoming disgusting. We always get disgusted with politicians. That's what they say about democracy. You don't vote new people in, you vote the last bunch out. You're so sick of them. And they're putting in this man because we've seen so much corruption over the years that politics and politicians were losing their favor in the eyes of the public. We're losing all respect for them. In fact, that's why they came in with the idea of terrorism. It gave government a new command over the public. That was the main idea behind it, a new myth for the age of terrorism. But Barack Obama is just another one of their boys. You can see all of his connections, the CFR and so on. He's committed to their agenda. He's given many speeches at the CFR. You can actually find them on the web. And he's all gung-ho for this whole New World Order idea. Now he's just sent off another 75,000 troops to Afghanistan or something. He's going right along with it. And he's got Brzezinski backing him up as well with his policies. The very man who helped start off the war between the Afghanis and Russia is now keeping it going.
And that's what's so arrogant about it is that Obama, even more than Bush, will go on Stephanopoulos' show, other shows, on every issue, on NAFTA, on GATT, on torture, on secret arrest, on expanding the war, and he'll just say, "Oh, that was just campaign rhetoric," and they go, "Oh yeah, it's just I lied to you. It's no big deal."
That's right. It's the same old stuff, and I think those of us who get a bit older have seen so much of this our whole lives long. We take no interest in them at all. They're born liars. That's why they're picked there and put there. I don't think you find ordinary people trying to get into politics. You certainly won't find them getting up there in politics. Because the psychopathic types gravitate towards politics. They like the power. They're natural liars. They're at home amongst other psychopaths. And so that's the only type, unfortunately, that seems to get in there. But they're not the bosses, as we know. We know that it's the big foundations with their advising think tanks that are the policy makers. The politicians really are nothing more than frontmen.
Absolutely. Let's get into the next 10 years. Is the program behind? Is it on schedule? What will we see unfold in the next year, the next 2 years, the next 5, the next 7, on into 10, if they're continuing with their program successfully?
Well, I know that Brzezinski and Kissinger both said the same things, that the United States now must take the back seat as a policeman of the world. They'll gradually submerge into this new world order. They will lose all their favored status, meaning their power and sovereignty, as they submerge themselves into the system. We also know, too, that the second part of the Bretton Woods Agreement is coming into force, the very part that Maynard Keynes talked about, where they're bringing in a world of service. Now, government is in bed, really, with the bankers. Government now has a say in your personal bank account. They'll use money and your bank account as a weapon against you to make you go along with all the new protocols and dictates as to what you'll eat, what you'll buy. Maybe you're buying too much carbon-emitting stuff, etc. So money is to be used as a weapon against every single person in the world.
Well, take Finland.
Yes.
Finland. I mean, as you know, over a decade ago, all your bank accounts are controlled by the government. When you get a ticket or a fine, they just take it out of your account. It's taken out of your account according to how much money you have. So it's class warfare society. The government admits they listen to all cell phone calls. The Finns have been conditioned to accept that. Everything's tracked. Everything's controlled. They euthanize the old. They, abortion on demand, one-child policy basically being brought in, and now we're hearing them hype that here as well. So this is a hellish society of micromanagement.
Yes, and it is global. Again, the UN was set up as the front for this organization. Once again, the same foundations and Rockefellers and so on, Ford, Carnegie, were the ones who've set up the United Nations and funded it into existence. They're the real bosses here, and what's astonishing is to find old Rockefeller in '94 still going around the world giving talks to globalist societies and